to teach you how to do a knee arthroscopy. I'm going to teach you how to do a basic diagnostic arthroscopy. I think this is the skill all orthopedic surgeons should have. Most surgeons in developed countries know how to do a basic diagnostic arthroscopy. However, same is not true for people training in developing countries due to lack of training resources and lack of arthroscopy kits. However, if you want to learn arthroscopy, I'm sure this video will give you useful tips and tricks as how you can start and learn to do a diagnostic arthroscopy. So we are ready and the patient is anesthetized. So in terms of positioning, which is crucial and critical for any operation, even more so for arthroscopy. So you have got a side support here. We have used a tourniquet. So side support should be tucked in such a way that you should be able to get the knee up to 90 degrees. So you can see knee is coming up to 90 degrees easily. Also, medial side is the most difficult side to see, especially the posterior horn. So you need to give a valgus stress. So the side support should be so much in that if you are leaning here with my right thigh and I'm trying to open the joint, I should have lever arm so that I can open the medial side and I can look at him. So these are two critical things that you should see before you scrub up. So one important aspect while draping the patient is that if you're working in a center in which cost is not a problem and you have access to waterproof drapes, then you can use it. Those are ideal. However, most of us don't have that and we use these green drapes which are made up of fabric, and these are not waterproof. So a good alternative is you take these plastic sheets, make a small hole and take one up so that this becomes waterproof, and the same way you put one here because we will be hanging the leg so that the whole system becomes waterproof and it minimizes the risk of infection. So key is make a small hole and take it over the leg and then slowly take it up. Slowly, and it also makes a waterproof seal. So the next layer will be something like this. Now the whole system is waterproof, and then you can use your normal fabric drapes and proceed with the operation. So if you want to do an arthroscopy, you need to have a system, and the system is, we talked about how to drape the patient, how to drape the patient. Now you see there are a lot of cables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cables, and if you don't put them right, they entangle with each other and it hampers your working. So we have to identify the lateral side is the side in which we will put the camera. So this is our camera. Camera will also have a light source and then it will have a water. So these three lateral, which is going to show us the knee, all we need is from heel up to the groin. This is the length you need. You don't need any longer than this. If you keep it long, it just entangles. All these three leads will be on the outer aspect. So you can see I have separated them separately. They are away and they are on the outer aspect. So this will be my thing where I will see the scope. Now the working portal we need to have a free access for our instruments and our shaver. So the shaver with a sucker is the only thing that will stay on the inside, and this is separate so that they don't entangle with each other and cause troubles while you are operating. So this is our camera and it has got two buttons. Those two buttons can be different in different system, but usually one is from white balance and the other one is to take pictures or record while you are operating. So you have to remember that I'll be focusing a lot on these buttons where they are facing. So this is one variable. When I started to learn arthroscopy, I thought it is such a difficult task that I will never be able to do it. However, when I worked with Mr. Ajay Adhikari, he taught me few systems as well as Roy Toyman from Epsom, which made learning arthroscopy very easy. So the second attachment which goes on it is this camera. So this is an HD camera. This is the place in which we will have the light source, and this is the front of the camera through which we see. So these camera can be of different angles. So this is 30 degree, which means if the camera is like this, you will not see my palm. If you want to see my palm properly, you will have to have this at 30 degree. So if you have this understanding, that will make your life much more easier. It's not a camera which is facing forwards, it is at 30 degree. Sometimes when you're doing PCL, to see the posterior part we use 70 degree. So you have got different angles. So basically, if you want to see down, you need to have this at 30 degree. Now there are two important variables which determine what you are going to see. So one variable is this camera button. This is where the camera is looking. And the second variable is the light source. So if you see, the light source is attached here, and the light source is absolutely perpendicular to the camera. So if I change this changes where the scope is seeing. So if I put it up, when this is up, camera is looking down. If this is towards this side, camera is looking towards the opposite side. If this is looking this side, then camera is looking towards this side. If you want to look at the top, what you need to do? Very easy. Keep this vertical and then put this down, and it's going to look up. So if you understand this will make your life very easy, and I will keep on stressing as we move on during the procedure. So the first portal when we start is we are going to make our infralateral standard portal in which we are going to put the scope. So I've just drawn a patella for you. There are people who will put high parapatellar portal, but if you're doing a normal portal, which most of us do, then you need to identify the inferior pole of the patella, and your portal should never be above it. And the next step is to push it in the soft spot, which is inferior lateral to the patella. And if you have nails, you can actually leave an impression. So you can see I have made an impression there. So this is where my incision will be. So I've drawn the patella tendon for you. You don't want this to be very close to the patella tendon, otherwise you will irritate and you will cause damage, and it also interferes with working of the scope. So my incision is usually at least a centimeter and a half away from the lateral border of the patella. So whenever you are doing an arthroscopy, you need a 11 blade. You can see it has got a very sharp edge. So the position of the blade is extremely important, in which direction, both the direction of the blade and the angle of the blade. So you see I'm keeping the sharp edge towards this side, because if I do it here, femoral condyles on this side, you can damage the cartilage. So this is the sharp edge will face the patella tendon. Now in which direction shall we take it in? So this is perpendicular, this is absolutely parallel. So if this is 90 degree, you want to take this blade straight in, just gently with finger, and just you will feel a give way. Once it's give way, then just slowly withdraw it in. This is your portal made. So again, important direction, keep this blade this way, and then 45, neither this way because you will hit the condyle. If you go this way, you will damage ACL and other structures. So at 45 degree facing the trochlear notch. So next is to take the trocar. People sometimes in hurry forget to put the sleeve in. If you don't put the sleeve in, this is very sharp, it can cause a damage. So whenever your scrub nurse handles and give it, make sure that the trocar is, this inside bit is there. So it will go in the same direction. It will go in the same direction as direction of the blade. And as you go in, you will feel hitting the femur and you are aiming towards the trochlea. Now how to go into the suprapatellar region? So what you do is, you slowly extend the knee, and now your trocar is facing, or it's almost parallel to the leg. However, it is at a slight angle, and you just push it in. And as you push it in, you are aiming towards this opposite pole of the patella. If you put in this direction, the scope will nicely go in. So once your scope is in this position, then you have to keep the knee extended. You can't bend the knee, because if you bend the knee, it will bend the scope and it will damage your scope. So once the scope is in this position, keep it parallel and make sure that somebody is holding the leg so that it doesn't fall off, and you don't want any reflection because then it will damage the inside lenses of your scope, and this will get damaged. So this lady has got some effusion, and that effusion is coming out. Before you put your water source, make sure you have take away all the air bubbles, otherwise it gets in your way. And just attach it here, and then we will put the camera and we'll start our light source. So once you have attached your water source, just gently take your camera in, no force movement, just gently lock it in. And now you can see what I mean. All my cables are on this side, and I have got clear medial side to do my work. So let's just have the water. So we are doing arthroscopy, which is a procedure in which we make very small incision. However, looking from outside also gives you a good big clue where your scope is and what you are seeing. So if you draw a line here, our camera is just going in this direction. So we are just under the patella. So first thing that I do, you will see when you put the scope in, this is how you will see on the camera. If Varun can show it there, this is what you will start seeing. You can start seeing the synovium and some plaque on the lateral side, medial side, sorry. Now important thing is, first thing is to look at the patellofemoral joint. So if you look at the patellofemoral joint, this is the joint we are looking. So these two buttons will always remain parallel to the joint. So you cannot move this. So this will be in this position. Okay? So if you make this component fixed, so you have fixed it, this is not going to move. The only thing that is going to move is you can move the camera in and out, and you can move the light source. So we want to look up. First thing I want to see is the patella. So what I need to do, so if you're guessing, all I need to do, as I showed you, if you put this down, this will start looking up. So now it is looking up. The light source is down. If you can show it from this side. So the light source is down. It means it is looking up. And this, as I said, will always remain parallel to the joint that you are examining. So what I need to do, if you want to do patellofemoral joint, is just to slowly withdraw it. Just hold your finger and slowly withdraw, and then Varun will show us the screen what we see. So as you withdraw, you will start seeing the patella. So as you withdraw, you start seeing the patella. So this is patella in the view. It's a bit bright. I will try to reduce the brightness and I will show you. So now you can see we are seeing the patella apex, and there is definitely some chondral damage there. Now if Varun, if you can show it down again. So again, nothing is going to change. If you want to look at the medial facet, so all you need to do is to do this. Just 5 or 10 degrees on this side, you will start seeing the medial facet. If you see there, you can see the medial facet. Same way, if you want to look at the lateral facet, if you show it here, move your camera slightly towards the femoral shaft, and you will see this lateral side. So the lateral side and the medial facet looks okay. It's only at the apex where there is damage. And if you see here, my camera is always perpendicular or parallel to the joint. So next part is, I want to look at the trochlea. So as I said, if you make this variable, if you work with only 2 variables, your life will be much easier. People go and do fellowship, when they see other people doing it, they feel it's so easy, but when they start doing themselves, they find it difficult because nobody teaches them. If you can fix one variable, and then other variable becomes much easier. So if you move this, then you have thousands combination. But if you fix this one and only move this, only one variable is moving. So if I want to move at the trochlea is facing this way. So what I need to do? I need to put this back up. So as I put this up, this is the view you will see. And again, just slowly withdraw a few millimeters, and you will have a good look of the trochlea. So there's a lot of synovitis here, but you can see the trochlea. So first patella and then trochlea. So position to see the trochlea is, this is always parallel. I have eliminated this. This will look down. Now the third thing that you can do is to see whether it's tracking well or not, which is not 100% correct all the time. But if you want to look at the patellofemoral joint, what you need to do? You need to look this way. So if I need to look this way, what I need to do is, this remains the same. I just turn the light this way and withdraw it. So on the top, you can see the patella, and on the bottom, you can see the trochlea. So if you see, this is what I meant. I'm looking at the trochlea, but my scope is at almost 30 degrees. Then I'm looking down. But if I want to look more of the trochlea, if I lift it up, you can see that I am seeing, if you can show it on the camera. So this was like it. When I lift my hand up slowly, see, you can see almost whole of the trochlea into the joint. So there is no damage as such over the trochlea. So once you have looked at the trochlea, then again I want to look down. So my camera is horizontal and this is looking down. So now third thing I want to look here is the lateral gutter. So once your assessment of patellofemoral joint is complete, I am going to move this scope in this direction so that it falls off from the femur and it goes into the lateral gutter. And I'll show you how it looks. So Varun, if you can show it on the screen. So this is this way. I'm just taking it towards the tibia and towards the midline, and I am off the femur. So all I need to do is lift the hand up, and then you will see this mucosal fold on the lateral side. Once this mucosal fold is seen, then withdraw your scope slightly and then look down. So this is the site where usually you will find foreign bodies. So if you can see this, there is no foreign body here, then your examination is complete. I would do the same maneuver again. So what I do is I fall off and then I lift my hand up. So this is the way you will see the lateral parapatellar gutter for any loose body. I think I've said foreign body before. Now you are back in the patellofemoral joint. So now we have assessed patellofemoral joint, we have looked at the lateral gutter for any loose bodies. Now we want to go into the medial joint. So people find it quite challenging. So again, if you see, my scope is just underneath the patella. This is facing horizontal and the light is facing down. So all I am going to do is to slowly put this leg flex and then lift my hand up, and then I will be in the joint. And you will be in the joint straight away like this. I showed you the maneuver how to go into the medial joint. I am going to now show you the screen how it will look. So you slowly bend the knee, your camera, you keep lifting the hand up and keep following the medial femoral condyle. You can see I am following the medial femoral condyle, and this way I am into the knee. This is how it will look. So it's very easy. Just follow the medial femoral condyle, lift it up, and then you are into the medial joint. And this is how it will look. So now we are assessing the tibiofemoral joint. So this two dots or this camera is parallel to these joints. So this is now fixed. I can't change that. And if you do this, you will see everything perfect. Now only thing that will move is this light source. And the light source will move over scope in the front. So now next step, if you see here, this is parallel and this is making a 30 degree, and when I am making it 30 degree, I am getting a perfect view as if I am looking down. So this is what I meant. If you are using a 30 degree scope, if you are doing it correct, your hand will be lifted off 30 degrees. Now next step, which is very crucial, is to make our medial portal. I think it's very hard to make a video and explain everything because I have to do it twice. But the medial portal, if you are dealing with a lateral meniscal tear, then you want to make a portal very close to the patellar tendon, because this will help your instrument go directly over the lateral side. If your portal is too medial and then you are dealing with a lateral meniscal tear, then you will struggle. So see your MRI report. Clinically, if you are suspecting a lateral meniscal tear, then your portal will be very close. Now in order to make the portal, it is very important that we place the camera in the right direction. And I will show you what I mean. So this is parallel as before. Now I want to make a portal on the medial side. So I want to see my needle coming from here. So where will this light go? It will go in this direction. And when it goes in this direction, this is what you will start seeing this. So now this is parallel, this is looking towards this side because this is where my needle will come from. So again needle will go at a 45 degree, and if you look at the screen, this is how it will look. And when I pass my needle, you will see the needle coming in straight away there. So now people find difficulty in seeing the needle. So if I show you here, Varun, just show me here. We put this needle in a direction so that it is going towards the scope. If you want to see the needle, all you need to do is to push this needle in this direction, and you will see the needle. If you can see here, you will see it on the camera. And the purpose is to see whether you are not going under the meniscus or you are through the meniscus. So this looks pretty okay. So again, you put the needle in this direction, but to see the needle, you need to push in this direction. So needle goes in this direction, and then to see it, you have to bring it in this direction so that your scope can see it. Again, to make a medial portal, the sharp edge will now face towards the tendon, and it will go in the same direction. So as your assistant takes the needle out, just go at a 45 degree, and what you will feel, it will hit the scope. And once it hits the scope, that means you are into the joint. So now the blade will go in the same direction as your needle, and in order to see the blade again, you need to take it away. So you can see my edge of the blade, sharp edge is away from the condyle. So now I am withdrawing my blade, and I will turn the blade, making sure that I am not touching the condyle. So it has to be. And now I am just going to make my, if Varun can show it from outside, I am just going to angle it so that inside the hole is bigger and outside hole becomes less, and then take it out. So now this remains parallel. Again I have brought this up looking down, and then I am going to put my shaver inside. So now my shaver is inside. I am just going to make my portal big. So make sure your camera is behind, and if somebody let's press the pedal please. We are just going to turn the suction on, and I am just going to make my portal slightly bigger so that I am able to put my instrument in and out easily. That is my next step. Now in the same direction as you put your blade and your shaver, the probe goes in the same direction. So if you see here, there is a concept of what we call a triangulation. So the camera is going in this direction, and if you go at the 90 degree, you will hit the camera. And once you hit the camera, if you just angle it in this direction and push it down, you will see your instrument, whether it's a blade, whether it's a shaver, whether it's a probe. So just go in at the 90 degree and then try to make it parallel to your scope. And as it starts becoming parallel, you will see here. I'll show you how it looks on the screen. So I'm going in, now I'm hitting the scope. As I said, I'm just going to bring it to the midline. As I midline, I can see the probe. So this is the easiest way to see the scope. On this occasion, I put the probe, not scope, sorry. So lift and examine the anterior horn, the middle horn, and to see the posterior horn, you have to be in a particular position. I'll show you what it is. So in this direction, you can see the middle horn. To see the anterior horn, all you need to do is you need to look this side. So this goes this way and look at the screen. Lift your hand up, you can see the anterior horn. So middle horn in this way, anterior horn, you just need to keep this parallel, change this. And to see the posterior horn, your scope has to look, the posterior horn of the medial meniscus is this side. So you want to look that way. So this will become in this direction. And as you do this, lift this leg up and give a valgus stress, and then take your scope in, and this is what you will see. You will clearly see the posterior horn. So this is the position to see the posterior horn. Slight flexion, not too much flexion, not complete extension. Scope parallel. The buttons are parallel to the joint, and the light source is looking in this direction. If you can do this, you will see the posterior horn clearly. The two difficult things are posterior horn, and people find difficult going in the lateral joint. So I am probing. The medial meniscus looks pretty good. So now we need to look at the ACL. So before we look at the ACL, you have to assess the condyle. So you can see there is some damage in the weight bearing area. Look at this. This is all damage. All I am doing is withdrawing my scope, and if you can see, putting it down. So as I am putting it down, I can see it more. The other option is keep this constant, and then you can move the knee joint up and down. You can do either to assess the whole of the joint. At the same time, you want to assess the tibia. So there is some changes in the tibia as well. Once we have assessed medial meniscus, we have probed it, we have assessed the femoral condyle, we have assessed the tibia, we should move on to our ACL. To see the ACL, as I said, we have eliminated, this will remain perpendicular. You need to put the camera down and slowly withdraw it. As you withdraw it, you will start seeing the ACL, beautifully ACL. For a lot of times, you will see a big ligamentum mucosum in front of it. On this occasion, we don't have it. But I will show you what is my next crucial step if you have ligamentum mucosum. Lot of times, you will just see some fibers of ACL. Once you see the fibers of ACL, take your scope, take your shaver in, making sure that your biter side is not facing that way, because that way it will damage the ACL. So you put this direction and then start shaving it off. So if somebody can press the pedal for me, and somebody can put the suction on. So this way you will take away ligamentum mucosum. We still have some ligament. This is a very flimsy ligamentum mucosum. You can see that. I am trying to take this off. Can you see this flimsy ligamentum mucosum going onto the trochlear knot? Sometimes it's really thick and you can't see the lateral side. To see the lateral side, you need to see a triangle, and I need to show you what that triangle is. So making sure the shaver is facing away from the ACL, you take away all the ligamentum mucosum. So once you take away the ligamentum mucosum, this is how your ACL will look. Nice, shiny structure ACL. Now we need to assess the stability as well. So Varun, if you can show it here. So if I am going this way, I am into the medial joint, just withdrawing it slightly, and then coming here, you can see the ACL. Now we need to assess the ACL to see whether it is damaged or not. Sometimes it may look good here, but when you see here, the attachment on the femoral condyle is completely avulsed. So next step is to take a probe in and give it a good tug. So I have probed it in and I am giving a good tug, and it looks pretty good. So the last and the most important thing is how to go into the lateral gutter, which people struggle. So let me take my shaver in first. We can see I am just in front of the ACL. This we can just start see the lateral femoral condyle, and I want to take away some fat pad and this soft tissues. Once I take this soft tissues away, I will be able to see the triangle, and I will show you what that triangle is. So I am just making sure that I am not damaging anything useful. Because this is the position of the ACL, this should look down, and the same position will continue. This is parallel to the joint, this is looking down, and I am just moving from here, looking at the ACL, just moving towards the midline, and you will see this triangle. So on this triangle you can see the top is the lateral femoral condyle, this is the ACL, and this is the anterior horn of the lateral meniscus. And as when you do an ACL reconstruction, this anterior horn is the important landmark, and you can see why that is, because the ACL originates very close to it. So once you see this triangle, then nobody can stop you from going into the lateral joint. You have taken away all the rubbish, you have taken away the ligamentum mucosum, and you are fine to go. To look into the lateral joint, if you are lucky, all you need to do is, if Varun can show here, is use your thigh, use your leg and give a varus press and see if you can go in. Sometimes somebody who has got damaged ACL, or if the joint is lax, you will be able to go in and you will be able to see. However, on this occasion I can't. So once you see this triangle, this is an important aspect of the arthroscopy. So Varun, first I would like you to focus on the screen. So your camera will keep looking towards the screen, and then you put the leg in figure of 4 and slowly put your scope in. And once you put the scope in, you will be in the lateral joint and you will see everything. On this occasion there is some fluid, I will just take that out. So now if you want to go into the lateral joint, once you see this triangle, all you need to do is to put the leg in figure of 4, but with the scope keep an eye on the screen, making sure that you are going into the joint. You can still, and as you go put the leg in figure of 4, you will be able to see this view. And once you see this view, that means you are into the joint. So this is your condyle, this is your meniscus. So I'm not showing you the camera, but just make a guess where our light source will be. So this is what we are seeing, and Varun, now focus it here. So if you see here, this is still parallel to the joint surface. I've lifted it off 30 degree because this is a 30 degree scope. We are looking the lateral side. So lateral meniscus is in this direction like this. So where is our scope facing? Towards this direction. So it's very easy. Keep this variable constant and then you will not struggle, because the only thing that you need to move is this. But if you start moving this and this, then you can create 1000 combination and that disorientates you and then you will get lost. So like other side, you need to assess the whole femoral condyle. So I am slowly putting the leg in extension and then in flexion. Now this time I will not show you the screen, but I will show you how to make that figure of 4 movement. In this position I am seeing that triangle position. So I am just keeping the scope pushed in and then slowly looking at the screen, this leg goes on to opposite thigh. And this, what it does is, it opens the joint. If at all you need to open the joint more, put a stress here and it will open the joint little bit more. And if you look at the screen, we are into the lateral joint and we can see the meniscus. So this is how I do my diagnostic arthroscopies. Now I would like you to show the plica. I think I forgot to show you. If you are into the patellofemoral joint, scope is parallel to the patellofemoral joint. Our camera, our light source is looking up. So I'm just moving towards the medial side. This is your medial plica. I think when we put the scope in, we put it too deep. That's why it has gone through it. It has caused some bleeding. If you want to see the lateral plica, this is the lateral plica. So can you see this beautiful arc from there on to there? So this is your lateral plica, and then you have the medial plica. Sometimes it can be inflamed, and if you have to take the plica away, all you just need to put a shaver and just start taking it away. So press the pedal for me, please. On this occasion it's not, but I'm just demonstrating you how to take the plica away. So you just use your shaver and then take it away. So the last thing that I do in arthroscopy is just a joint washout. Whenever you're doing any condyle debridement or a debridement of the femoral condyle, you have done meniscectomy, there can be small fragments which can get lost and can later on cause trouble. So my shaver goes into the patellofemoral joint, into the suprapatellar pouch. My camera is parallel and my light source is towards the shaver. So what I do is I turn on the shaver please, and then start sucking all the debris. And if you can show Varun, and keep squeezing the back. What it does is it brings away anything which is in the back onto the top, and then you can clearly do the suction. So this is, we have closed our portal. So if you see, the medial portal is usually a centimeter and a half away, and same way this is centimeter and a half away. So if your portal is like this, then it is pretty perfect. So all this is now put dressing and put some compression bandage for a few days. So viewers, this was a demonstration of how to do a diagnostic arthroscopy. It is not a very easy video to make because you are moving the instrument and then you have to show the screen. I have tried my best to show you everything as much in detail as possible, but the key learning point is that keep your scope parallel to the joint and move only the light source. If you have just made one variable constant and if you are moving only the light source, it will make your life much more easy. There are many other ways to do the arthroscopy, but this is how I do it. I am sure if you are going on a fellowship or if you are a surgeon who is learning arthroscopy, this video will be of extreme use to you. Thank you for watching this video. Do like our channel and do share it.